Are you ready to master your skincare fragrances this summer? Then this is going to be the video for you. Hi, my name is Nicole and I help skincare business owners and DIYers craft their formulas and develop fragrances. If that's something you're interested in, then definitely hit the subscribe button. Now, in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you summertime fragrances that are going to really make yourself stand out in your business. I'm also going to be sharing with you how to develop your top, middle, and base notes within these fragrances. And I'm going to share with you some industry secrets to really make them last long and have a lot of longevity. Let's not waste any more time and get right into the video. Now, when it comes to your spring and your summertime fragrances, you want something that's going to be very light, airy, clean, fresh, a little bit citrusy, fruity. Those are the fragrances that you're really looking for and you want to elevate when it comes to your skincare fragrance. Because with your summertime fragrances, these are not going to last, 8, 10 to 12 hours. And this is just really because of science. When it comes to your top notes, they're going to be volatile, meaning that they're not going to last very long. The heat, the temperature is going to really weigh those fragrances down, making them not last as long. Now, we're going to get into our first fragrance here, and this is going to be Pear Blossom Breeze. Now, this is going to be a really nice breeze type of fragrance that's going to be really light and refreshing. When it comes to the summertime, that's another thing that you're always looking for is light and refreshing fragrances. You're going to see a lot of fruity, you're going to see a lot of floral fragrances, citrus, and this is what's really going to really mimic the perfect summertime fragrance. Now, when making your fragrances, you're just going to always need a few things. Now, I always have my scale with me. With this scale, I really love this because it has two sides. You get one that's going to have great for your larger measurements when you're making your products, and then a smaller one is going to be great for your smaller precise measurements that are going to be 0.00 ounces. Then you're going to want to have a really small little jar like this. This is going to be perfect for you to be able to test out your fragrances. I just use this little tiny jar to put my fragrances in so that I can let it sit for like a week or so, come back, smell it, and just see how I like the way the fragrance is developing. Then I can kind of change the percentages from there and remake it. And so I just got like a bag of that from Amazon. This is the bag that I got, and it comes with a whole bunch of little tiny jars. So this really just gives you the opportunity to really test out as much as you want with as many fragrances as you need to. Then you're also going to want to have your pipettes. This is really great to get more precise measurements and making sure that you're not spilling your fragrances or your essential oils, because in these little jars, in these little bottles, they always spill out and kind of get out of control. So using the pipettes is going to be really helpful. Now, to start off with our fragrance, this is going to be the Pear Blossom Breeze. Now, we'll have all of the ingredients and the percentages off to the side here so that you'll be able to utilize this for yourself. Now, to start off, we're going to have our top notes. This is going to be Crisp Pear. Now, Crisp Pear is a really great fragrance that's going to have a light, fresh, refreshing fragrance to it. It's going to be a bit sweet, but not too strong. I'm just going to tear here, and you're going to use your pipette. I just want to measure this out. Then we are going to be using Bergamot. Now, Bergamot is going to be a really great fragrance that's going to be more floral, give you a hint of like the sweet and floral fragrances combined. This is going to be more of like a sweet fragrance. So you'll notice that it has a floral fragrance, but it's not that strong for you to really be able to know that it's super floral. And we're just going to tear that again. Then we're going to get into our heart notes. Now, your heart notes are really what's going to carry the fragrance, make it last, a little bit longer, and just really help to develop the top notes and even your base notes. And to start off with that, we're going to have white jasmine, or even jasmine will work here as well. I think they just said that a little bit more fancy for the name. But with your jasmine, you're going to get some more of that floral fragrance. It's going to really help the bergamot fragrance with the jasmine. So we're going to be adding this in as well. Then you're going to be adding in green tea leaf. Now, green tea leaf, this is a really great fragrance that's going to be light and refreshing. This is just going to bring in more freshness, make it smell, a lot more relaxed and not a very strong fragrance. And we're going to add this in as well. Now, with this one has like a little pipette here at the top. So I'm just going to let it drip in. Then this brings me to our base notes. Now your base notes are really going to be important, and with your base notes, you don't want them to be too heavy within your fragrance. This is what's going to help to make your fragrance last a little bit longer as well. There's other techniques that you can use for more long-lasting fragrance. We're going to get into that a little bit here as well. But first off, with our base notes, we're going to have musk. Now musk is going to be a really great fragrance that's going to elongate your fragrance, make it smell a little bit, make the smell last a little bit longer. It's just going to help the fragrance last a little bit longer. So we're going to add in our musk here. Tear that first. And it's just going to drip out. Then for our next one, it's going to be bamboo. Now bamboo is just going to give more freshness as well. And we're going to add bamboo. Didn't use this pipette. Now with these little tiny jars, these are like half an ounce. So I just take my fragrance and I cover it up, shake it up a little bit, up and down, to really get everything to mix together and for everything to blend. Okay, so now we have our fragrance fully developed. So I also have these perfume sticks. Now when you go into Sephora or Ulta or whatever, you spray it on your, you spray the perfume on this little paper, and it just allows you to smell it. Now I got this box off of Amazon as well, and it comes with, how many of these? It's like 400 of these little strips in here. So you'll be able to have this for a really long time for your own, perfumes, and for you to test out your fragrances. So what I always do is, I let this sit for, a couple hours, a few days, weeks, just to really smell the fragrance and see how it develops over time. And also what's really important is how this fragrance smells when it dries it down. So I'm just going to take the smaller part of the strip and I'm going to just dip it in. And you just kind of want to wave it around and allow the fragrance to kind of dry on the paper, because you want to see what it smells like when it dries down. What do you pick up more of? What do you want more to smell like? And it just really gives you a better idea of what the fragrance smells like overall. So we've kind of got it dried down. Now this smells really, really great. I love the pear. The pear is light, but it's still very refreshing. I'm picking up the jasmine, and it's a nice, like, light floral fragrance. It's not too strong. I'm kind of getting a little hint of the bergamot, but not as much as I would like. So that might be a pretty light fragrance as far as the bergamot is concerned. And the musk isn't too strong either. With your base notes, you don't want them to be too heavy in general, but you just want it to be long, and you want it to be enough for the fragrance to have some more longevity. So I really like the way this smells. The bamboo, I'm not really getting much of that either. I'm getting more musk than I am bamboo. So that may be one that I wouldn't use again, but when it comes to the base notes, it really does give it kind of more of like a musky, masculine fragrance. So I can see this being very unisex. So if you're making products for both men and women, then this is a fragrance that can definitely work for both. Okay. Now the next fragrance is going to be more light and refreshing, and this is going to be more citrus forward, because that's another fragrance that people really love to develop, but there's a lot of issues when it comes to using fragrances that have citrus in them. So we're going to get into that a little bit later, but first we're going to be talking about how to make your fragrance and help to boost it for it to last a little bit longer and for the smell to last a little bit more. Now, when it comes to your fragrance and having great longevity, a really great tip is to be mindful of the ingredients that you are using. Now, having in ingredients in your body butters that are going to have no fragrance to them at all, so using like mango butter, cocoon butter, those are really great fragrances that you don't have to worry about being too strong in those ingredients. Now, another really great thing is having really great dry down. A really important part of your product is having something that's going to dry down easily. That way the fragrance actually attaches to your skin a lot better and quicker, and it actually lasts long on your skin. So that's the whole point. So a really great ingredient to always use within your products, even in your creams, is going to be arrowroot powder. Arrowroot powder is going to help dry down. Not only does it give it a great luxury consistency and feel, but it's also going to help dry the product down for it to last and stick onto your skin a lot faster and quicker. If you don't have arrowroot powder, you can also use cornstarch. There's tapioca powder. There's just all those different types of powder that are going to soak up the oils to allow for it to dry down a lot quicker onto your skin. Now, the next really great ingredient that I would use is going to be isododecane, or perfumer's alcohol. Now, perfumer's alcohol is going to be the best option if you can get your hands on that, or it's also called ethanol. This is going to be a really great ingredient that's going to dry down on the skin. So adding these ingredients into your overall product or adding it into your fragrance, so like when you're making your fragrance in your little jar, adding those ingredients in the jar as well so that you can experience the dry down quickly when you're putting it on the strip or when you're trying to use the fragrance like on your hand. Then you can really get a really good grasp of what it's going to smell like when it dries down on the skin. So using your perfumer's alcohol within your fragrance percentages is really important as well. Or you can add it into the product itself because it's still going to aid for you to get the longevity by adding in the perfumer's alcohol. Now, ingredients like isododecane or IPM, which is going to also help with the dry down process, are really great alternatives if you can't get your hands on ethanol or perfumer's alcohol. But you can get a really big jug of the perfumer's alcohol on Amazon. It's a really good price for it. I'll have it linked down below. I just take it and I put it inside of a little bottle like this because it makes it a lot easier to use. When it comes to the perfumer's alcohol, it's going to be a big, huge jug that if you try to pour it, it's just going to spill everywhere. So putting it in a smaller container is going to make it a lot easier. And it's just really affordable, really easy to use when it comes to your overall fragrances. Now, before we get into our next fragrance, another tip that I want to share is you want to use fragrances that are going to be a little bit lighter and then have middle notes that are going to be a bit heavier within your fragrance. Now, a good technique is to have your top notes that are going to be fast fading. So these are going to be like your mints, your citrus fragrances. These are going to be really light and they're going to fade pretty fast. Then you want to pair that with more heavier middle notes. And this is where you're going to bring in maybe more vanillas, more of your floral fragrances. And these are going to be a lot heavier and allow for the fragrance in the top notes to last a little bit longer within the fragrance as well. Now, our next fragrance is going to be a summer linen glow. This is just going to be a really nice, fresh, light fragrance. Now, for our summer linen glow, this is going to just be very clean and an airy fragrance. So we're going to start off with our little bottle here. And we are going to get started off with our top notes, and we're going to start off with lemon. Now, lemon is going to be our citrus fragrance that we're going to start off here with. Now, when it comes to citrus fragrance, this is going to be one that can sometimes be a little bit difficult because you don't want to have too high of like a lemon fragrance, and then it can irritate your skin when in the sun. So we're going to use a really light amount of the lemon so that it's not too heavy on the skin. Just going to let that drip in. Then your next note is going to be neroli. Now, this is going to be another like citrus-like fragrance that's going to be light and fresh. And we're going to be adding this in as well for our top notes. Again, with our top notes, we're just wanting something that's going to be very light and fresh. And again, I'll have all of the ingredients listed below as well in percentages, along with links to where you can get them. Okay, then we're going to get into our heart notes. Now, your heart notes is what's going to be really going to be your middle notes and help to carry the fragrance. What's great about this technique is that the middle notes are going to be very similar to the top notes. It's going to help make the top notes strong enough for you to really smell those first. And then the heart notes are going to really help to elevate them and make them last just a little bit longer. Then we're going to get started with the heart notes, and we're going to have white tea. Now, this is going to be a really great fragrance to have when it comes to a fragrance like this, because tea or like green tea, white tea, really light, airy fragrances like that are going to really help to elongate like the lemon that we have. So we're going to use our pipette and measure this out. And it already just smells so nice and refreshing and just light. Very much like a hotel fragrance. So then we're going to be using cotton. Now, cotton is really a nice, light, fresh fragrance. I know you may not think about really smelling cotton very often or what that really might smell like. This is going to have more of like that linen fragrance, really light, fresh, and airy. It's going to really be paired well with like the lemon and all the tea and everything. So we're just going to add that in as well. Now that brings me into my base notes. Now your base notes are what's really going to help to elevate our fragrance just a little bit more and really help them to last a little bit longer. Now within our base notes, we're going to get started off with musk. Now, with musk and with like a soft sandalwood, cedarwood, these are perfect fragrances when it comes to a summer type of fragrance because these are very light musk fragrances. They're not too strong. They really work great in the wintertime as well, especially for more female fragrances if you don't want something that's too strong within the musk department. But these are going to be really great because they're going to still elevate the fragrance, but they're not going to be too harsh of a musk fragrance that you would normally get. I'm adding musk and I'm also adding in cedar wood. And you just really want a really small amount of cedar when it comes to a fragrance like this. You don't want anything that's going to be too strong. Now this fragrance, again, we're going to put it in and shake this up. Really allow for the fragrances to develop. I always like using these little bottles because you can always just sit with the fragrance, see how you like it, see how it develops, see how they mix. Sometimes when you first initially do it, you don't really smell it that strong. You are only getting one or two fragrances at first. You might be a little nose blind just from smelling all of the fragrances. Like we have all these fragrances here. I've already made 2 fragrances, so I may not be able to smell this that well. So letting it sit for a couple of hours and come back after you have a neutral fragrance around you, then smelling it will really give you a better idea. So now we're going to take our small little paper here for our fragrance to smell it and see what everything smells like all together. I'm just going to dip this in. And oh wow, I love this. Is very fresh, very nice. Now, you know, like when you're like you're doing your laundry and you kind of get like a nice linen, soft fragrance. This is what that smells like. I love just really light, fresh laundry. I don't like anything too heavy. So this is a really perfect fragrance. If you're looking to do something that's more fresh and clean, then this is going to be a really great fragrance. This can be really great for people that don't like too heavy of fragrance. If you want to do more of like a small minimalistic type of fragrances for your product line, this is a really great fragrance for that as well. This is great for people who just really love to wear perfume and don't want anything that's going to be competing too hard with their other perfumes that they're using. This will work really well because it just smells clean. You just smell fresh. Now, next up is going to be my watermelon white lotus fragrance. This is going to be something that's going to be very sweet and fresh if you like more sweet fragrances. And then next after that, I'm going to be sharing with you the perfect summertime ready fragrance. This is going to be great for 2025. If you want to be on the poolside, on vacation, this is the fragrance that you are going to have to use. Now, first, let's get into the watermelon and white lotus fragrance. Okay, so now for the watermelon and white lotus. Now, if you want something that's going to be juicy and fresh, then this is going to be the fragrance for you. Now, the next one is going to be watermelon. Now, this is going to smell just like watermelon to me. This is the perfect fragrance that I was able to find that really smells like watermelon. I always say that when you're buying your fragrances, buy them from different fragrance places because you never know which one's going to have like the best fragrance or which one you can like pair together to get like the perfect, watermelon or cookie, whatever it is that you're looking for. So buy from multiple places when you're trying out different fragrances. And we're just going to get a new bottle here and start off. Now for our watermelon, we're going to add this in first. And again, I'm going to have the fragrance and all percentages listed here for you as well so that you can be able to make this. And then after that, we're going to have cucumber water. Now, cucumber water, you guys, I love the way cucumber smells. I have a cucumber seed oil as well that smells so fresh, so clean. I love it for like my facial products, and like this is just no different. It just smells really fresh. I love the smell of cucumber water, and we're going to be adding this into our top note as well. And this is just going to really help to just make the fragrance smell a lot more fresh and clean, which you definitely want to get. Now, when it comes to our heart notes, now we're going to have the white lotus. Now, white lotus is very floral, very sweet, very fresh as well. And we're going to be adding in our white lotus here next. Add a little bit of that in there because you really want that floral fragrance to come through nicely. Then we're going to have rose. Now, rose, you guys, one of my next favorite fragrances because rose. Oh my God. Now, rose is going to be my next favorite fragrance because rose just smells very sweet. Now, I know rose can be very off-putting for a lot of people. Not everyone likes rose. I think my husband does not like rose. It's not one of his favorite fragrances at all. So it can just be a little bit off-putting for people. So if you are going to use rose, just know that it may not be something that everyone loves, but people who like rose know they like rose and will buy just because of that. And we're going to add that in as well. Now let's get into our base notes. Now the base notes are going to really help to elongate this fragrance as well. Now with this one, I'm just going to be using like a woodsy fragrance. This was supposed to be like wood musk. Really nice fragrance. I love the way that this one comes across. When it comes to having something that's going to be very musky, you want it to still come off a bit fresh, and you don't want it to be too strong of a musk for a fragrance like this. So we're going to add this in as well. Now with a fragrance like this is really great for like your creams. This is really great for like a body mist, even shower gel. So this is a really nice fragrance to use for that. So now we have this fragrance developed, and I'm just going to take our scent strip and dip it in. I want this to dry down. Now let's see what this smells like. Now the watermelon is coming great and very forward on this. This smells so great. Now, my inspiration for this fragrance was this watermelon fragrance. It's a perfume that I got a long time ago, and I just love the way that it smelled, and I wanted to replicate it to have it like in my body cream. And this smells very similar to that. I'm gonna have the perfume itself linked down below and all the ingredients that I use, because this smells very similar to what I already created. They pair very well together, so if you wanted to make this as your lotion and then spray this on, it'll be a nice duo. You will smell fantastic, just like watermelon. Now, if you don't like necessarily like very fruity fragrances, then this may not be the one for you. But if you want something that's very fruity, flirty, 30, and thriving, this is going to be that fragrance. Now, if you want upgraded Bath & Body Works, this is that. Now, I know we always see like, like those body butter, those Bath & Body fragrances that are like super kitty, very, very sweet. This is like elevated. It's still very sweet. Now, for our next tip, this is going to be more so centered around using your essential oils and fragrance oils within the same fragrance. Now, this is going to be the one that I really love, and it's great for 2025. This is a really great fragrance that's going to have a good mixture of your essential oils, and it's going to have fragrance oils combined with it. And this is just going to be a really great elevated fragrance that you can use. That's really great for the summertime. It's just going to make you still feel sweet, spring, summery, and just be a really great fragrance for vacation. Now, this is my favorite fragrance because this is going to be a very summertime ready. This is a great fragrance for 2025. Now, for the summertime. Now, I love this also because it has the mixture of your essential oils and your fragrance oils. So this is a really great way to utilize both. Now for this one, this is going to be our Pistachio Bloom. Now, with this fragrance, we are going to Now with this fragrance, we're going to start off with Pear. Now, your Pear fragrance, this is going to be really nice, fresh, and fruity. I love fruity fragrances because they really just make your fragrance feel and smell a lot sweet, which is great for spring and summer. Just going to turn this back on. I'm going to start it with our Pear. And again, I'm going to have the fragrance list and the percentages here on screen as well for you to be able to use. Now, I have this in grams because grams have seemed to be a lot easier to measure in than ounces. So I've been using grams a lot more, and it just seems to be a lot more precise. Then we're going to be using orange. Now this is going to be orange essential oil. Orange essential oil and fragrance oil are going to be two different things. Now with your essential oil, this is going to actually come from orange peel. This is going to be really an essential oil versus the fragrance where that is just a mimicked fragrance that was made in a lab. So with the orange essential oil, this is going to be really nice, really give you more of like a citrusy fragrance as well, and really just make this fragrance smell a lot more fresh and sweet as well. Then for our heart notes, we're going to have ylang ylang. Now ylang ylang is another essential oil that is really, It's really fresh and nice. I noticed this a lot in a lot of like facial products. You'll see ylang ylang. It can be a really strong fragrance that many people don't realize is in a lot of skincare products already. But I love the way that ylang ylang smells. It's very fresh. It's very clean, very floral as well. It's one of my favorite fragrances when it comes to essential oils for sure. And I'm going to be adding this in. Not a lot because it can be overpowering. So you want to think about like these particular essential oils that you're going to be using. An essential oil like ylang ylang is going to be very strong. So using a lot of it can be a bit off-putting. So you just want to be mindful of how much you're using. And you'll notice this when we put it on the strip as well. Now, after that, we're going to be having pistachio cream. Now, pistachio cream, it's just going to give you, you know, very much like Dubai chocolate. It smells very sweet, very nutty. So it pairs really great with like your orange, really making it more like very sweet and a little bit subtle in the sweetness as well. So I love the add in of the nuttiness and the creaminess for a pistachio cream. And we're going to be adding in this fragrance as well. And you can tell there's a little bit of vanilla in the fragrance as well because it's a bit golden. It's a very high sign that the fragrance itself has vanilla in it because of the like that golden color. So you always know when there's a vanilla in the room when it comes to that color. Now let's get into our base notes. Now our base notes, we're going to start off with a soft musk. I don't want anything that's going to be too strong. So a soft musk is going to be really great here. This is where you can add in like a soft musk or blue musk or like an oceanic musk. These are going to be very clean, very subtle, great for, you know, your oceanic type fragrances, great for the beach, great for the pool because it's very subtle. We're going to be adding this in as well. It's a very subtle fragrance. We're going to add in a little bit of that oceanic soft musk. Okay. Then we're going to also be adding in vanilla, a little bit of vanilla. Now this is just going to bring in a little bit more sweetness. Vanilla Select is going to just be a really nice light fragrance that's really great for your base notes. It's going to really help to carry the overall fragrance. So adding in, you know, just a little bit of vanilla is not going to hurt the fragrance. So we're going to add that in as well. I love Vanilla Select because it's a very light, subtle vanilla fragrance. And it's not too strong, but it's a really great base that's going to elevate the whole entire fragrance and make all of the other fragrances really stand out a lot more and just make this a little bit more on the sweet side. So we're all finished with this one and we're going to cover it up and we're going to shake this. Okay, so now let's test out this fragrance, you guys. I love this fragrance and I think you're going to as well. I'm going to dip this one in here. I'm going to let it kind of dry. Oh, it already smells so great. I love the way that this fragrance smells. So it's just like, it's like a golden hour on the coast. It's warm, like you just feel warm sea breeze with a hint of, you know, like a sweetness in the air. And there's like, you know, a really great pear fragrance, a really nice orange. The orange is very subtle. It's not too much in your face. So it's like great when it comes to like your essential oil, but it's also very florally. It's like your favorite summertime memory. Like I can just imagine using this, being on vacation and just like having this fragrance locked in forever. Now this was just to really sell you on the fragrance. Now if that worked, comment down below Summer Breeze so I know that this is a fragrance that really was sold to you. And just really imagine if I just said it smelled like pistachio cream. Would that have sold you? Would that have really gotten you to want to buy that fragrance? I don't think so. So you want to be able to sell a story to your audience, really make them feel like this is an experience that they are going to want to have by smelling this fragrance and really making a nice, you know, bundle with your products so that people can really understand what kind of, you know, what kind of vibe they're going to get from buying this particular product, especially if they're looking to go on vacation, if they're going to be going on vacation or going to the pool. This is going to really sell them to, you know, want to use this product during those experiences.